Hey, so we're given this problem and they want us to solve the system of equations using the substitution method. All right. So the substitution method, there's two methods for solving systems of equations like this. You can use the substitution method, which says solve for one variable. Like, for example, let's just take our first equation. We have 7x plus y equals 37. The substitution method says solve for one of these variables, either x or y, and then plug it into the second one, or substitute it into the second one. All right, so for this one, I'm going to solve for y. I'm going to subtract 7 to both sides, or subtract 7x to both sides, so I get 37 minus 7x. Now I have y in terms of x. I can take this and substitute it into my second one. So I'm going to get negative x minus 4 times 37 minus 7x equals negative 13. And now I just solve for x. I'm going to distribute this 4 to both terms, and we get negative x minus 148 plus 28x equals negative 13. Right? Combine like terms, I'm going to get negative 148 plus 27x equals negative 13. I'm going to add 148 to both sides. And I'm going to get 27x equals 135. And then, so I'm going to do that divided by 27. I'm going to divide by 27 on both sides. And I'm going to get x is equal to 5. Alrighty, so now that I've got x, I can find y using what we have here because we found y in terms of x. So I'm going to plug in x is equal to 5, and I'm going to get y is equal to 37 minus 7 times 5, which is 37 minus 35, which is 2. So y equals 2. All right. So now that I've got my answer, this is the substitution method. All right. And it comes from solving for one of the variables like we did here and substituting it into the second equation. All right. When you're doing systems of equations, this is kind of like an aside. This is the end of the problem, but kind of an aside. When we're doing systems of equations, what we're finding is where two lines touch. So if we had a line here and a line here, because these two equations right here are lines, we could solve for y and plot them on the xy plane. These are two lines. Systems of equations tell us where two lines intersect. So if this down here, if this line here was one of our lines and this was our other line, our solution would be this point. So up here, we got x is equal to 5, y is equal to 2. What this tells us is that these two lines right here intersect at the point 5, 2. So if you went to Desmos and plugged this line and this line in and looked where they cross, you would see they cross at 5, 2. And I encourage you to do that because it's really helpful to see that there's like a geometric way to think about these types of problems.